and welcome to the June 27th edition of Rant-Om Thoughts. First, a bit of an announcement about something I'm going to be doing with my YouTube channel. I'm going to sometime this week start shooting footage for a new show that I'll be putting on here called Mondo Modesto. I want to highlight certain landmarks and locations in and around Modesto that I would like to show the whole world. And while I'm there, tell stories about the history surrounding it, personal recollections. I'll still keep doing Rant-Om Thoughts once a week, or as often as my personal life will allow. Though I have to admit, it is starting to become more and more like a weekly primal screen therapy session, because there's just a lot out there honking me off and just making me really angry. And there's people who know me personally and or have followed me on social media going back to my MySpace days, will tell you I tend to get passionate. But I want to do that. I have a couple of people in mind I would like to have collaborate with me on that. One of them is a former MJC film student who did some short subject stuff back in the early thousands, and he would like to get back into doing that. I have another friend who does some who has her own YouTube channel and does some photo journalism and video journalism for both fun and a little bit of profit. Maybe I could get her involved. But we'll see what happens. I already have a couple of locations in mind I'd like to shoot and stuff and try to try out. If anyone out there though has any suggestions or ideas, please leave them down here in the comments. I'm very. I would really love to hear what you'd have to say about that. And also, because I still have my paid Zoom account, I'm going to try to make good use of it to facilitate interviews. I mean, now that there's, it just seems a lot more practical than just hauling, my computer and equipment to their house or having them visit me here in my humble little shack. But and there's no geographical barrier. I could sit here in Modesto, California, and interview somebody from across the country or even in another part of the world. It would just be a simple matter of getting our schedules lined up and making sure that some guests might want to be compensated for their time. I'm not sure how that works, but we'll see how that happens. I'm going to put some feelers out there and see if anybody would like to do that with me. And it wouldn't be just about politics. I would not mind interviewing people who are into art and music. That would be a lot of fun to do. Now, this controversy came and went. I wanted to address it a few weeks ago, but there were a lot of other stuff going on at the same time. But since we're close to Independence Day, I think I'll bring it up now. And that's the Drew Brees controversy. You know, we are just living in a really, really sad time when a professional athlete allows himself to get bullied and mau-maued into apologizing. Apologizing. You heard that right. Apologizing for loving his country and for honoring the memory of his two World War II grandfathers, his two World War II veteran grandfathers, while standing at attention for the flag during the playing of the national anthem. Yeah. Not, you know, I am actually more disappointed in him for buckling under and apologizing meekly to them just to appease them. Though the people doing the bullying and mau-mauing, you know, some anti-fascists they are, making him apologize for honoring the memory of his two World War II veteran grandfathers. The you know, it's yeah. Meanwhile, Colin Krapperdick. Yes, I realize I'm pronouncing it wrong, but allow me to explain. It's how I pronounce it and how I read it when I see it in print and how I hear it when I hear his name is mentioned. I have rewired my brain to hear it that way and to read it that way and to pronounce it that way when I say his name, because that is how much contempt I have for him, for Colin Krapperdick. Colin Krapperdick disrespects the flag, flax for murderous communist dictators, and eggs on violent rioters, and he gets lionized as a hero, as a spokeshole for victims of police violence, when truth be told, you, me, and everyone else with an IQ higher than a tree stump knows that he doesn't give two damns about police brutality. He doesn't. It's all just an attention whore stunt to hide his mediocrity as an athlete. And all of this would have been nipped in the bud 5 years ago when the controversy first arose, when Colin Krapperdick started kneeling. If the owners grew themselves some backbone and said, look, we're not going to put up with this. The fans are angry about it. They're not putting up with it. It's hurting us at the ticket booth. Either get with the program or get out. If I was a team owner circa 2015. And there was a player on my team pulling what Krapperdick pulled. Here's how I would have handled it. I would have sat him down in my office and I would have told him, look, what you do on your own time and on your own dime, that's your business. I don't care about your politics. I don't care about your lifestyle choices, so long as they don't affect your performance on the field, of course. But when you're on my time and on my dime, when you're on the field, you're on my time and on my dime. Moreover, you're on the time and on the dime of the fans, the ticket buyers, the seasonal ticket holders, and they don't like your look at me attention getting stunts. So here's what's going to happen. You're going to stand at attention when the national anthem plays. You're going to put your hand over your heart. And you're going to do as good an acting job at pretending you love this country that offered you so much as you do at pretending to actually care about police violence and whatever it is you believe institutional racism to be. Because let's get real, you don't really care about that stuff now, do you? If you did, you would be using your celebrity and your status as a professional athlete to lobby city halls, state houses, DC, to institute desired and much needed, you'll have no argument from me there, reforms. But that's not really about that. You're just hiding your mediocrity as a talent, as an athlete. You have no talent. You can't play your way out of a paper bag. So, you're going to do what you're told. You're going to stand at attention with your heart over your hand as the anthem plays. If you don't do that, you will spend the rest of the season on the bench. Don't like it? There's the door. Don't let it hit you on your pampered millionaire ass on the way out. Unfortunately, that never happened because most of the owners were cowards. They were lily-livered cowards who allowed the race card to have power over them. And now we're at a place where football players are being made to apologize for their patriotism. Now, I've gotten into it with some fellow libertarians over this. For reasons that make sense only to them, they've sided with the left on the Colin Krapperdick controversy, as well as other controversies such as flag burning, and some of them are gleefully going along with the war on statues. But I don't agree with the left, particularly the cultural Marxists, on this issue. You know, there's a really good quote from G.K. Chesterton that comes to mind whenever this comes up, whenever I get into these arguments with other libertarians, and goes something like this. Liberty is traditional and conservative. It remembers its legends and its heroes. But tyranny is always young and seemingly innocent and asks us to forget the past. And that's something that needs remembering. You know, if we want to hold on to our liberty, we need to remember our heroes. We need to remember our legends. We need to love we need to love our country. We need to be grateful to the heroes on whose shoulders we stand. In California, our soy-eating governor, Gavin Newsom, ordered a mask mandate. Now, we know what this is really about. It's about control. It's about compliance. It's not about health. Some counties, unfortunately not Stanislaus, have refused to enforce it. Here locally, even though they are deferring to state authorities, they're not really putting much effort into enforcing it because just like we learned from the lockdown, all that does is just takes resources and energy away from going after real criminals. Sheriff Dirks has said that he isn't going to make criminals out of people for not wearing, face covers, or as I prefer to call them, face diapers. In the week since this has happened, there are stores and places that I have patronized since then. As far as compliance goes, there's a bandana that I always carry in my pocket. I just wrap it around my face and wear that for a few minutes to just get what I need and get out. And that's all I'm going to do. I'm not going to wear it all the time. But that's really as far as I'm willing to go. Though I have to confess, there are times where I there are times where I am contemplating going into one of the supermarkets where they enforce it most strictly by running people out of the store. Go ahead, call the cops, wait for the 3 to 7 hours it takes for them to answer the call. And when they do, put up a big fuss, so they'll kick my ribs in, kick my teeth in, tase me, use that hold that's supposedly banned, because maybe then it will sink into some of my more thicker-headed friends that this is not about health, it's about control and bringing people under heel. the other day, friend and I, uh, oh, and Madeline, if you're watching, shout out. A friend and I, we went to McDonald's, stepped in for a bite to eat, and the cashier, who looks like exactly what would happen when parents overfeed their prepubescent boys soy and tofu products before they, develop fully. Grossly overweight, speaks in a falsetto voice. You need to wear a mask. And in full smartass mode, I shoot back with, "Oh, am I going to need to wear the face cover while I sit down and eat?" And then when I was tying my bandana on, just so I could make the purchase, he offers me one of those useless paper face diapers. I refuse it. And by the way, he himself is wearing a mask, and he's behind a thick layer of plexiglass. So if I do have Captain Trips, he wouldn't have anything at all to worry about. So for him, it was just a big power trip. And then he added insult to insult by screwing up my order. I had ordered a double bacon quarter pounder with cheese. He just gave me a single quarter pounder. I didn't go and complain. I just quickly ate what was given to me. I left. I slammed the door. That McDonald's on the corner of 9th and I in Modesto is not going to be getting my business for a while. Of course, the people who are pleased with Punch about this are the quarantine Karens. Yeah. So yes, Gavin Newsom is ordering a mask mandate. He's threatening another lockdown. Yeah, 3 months of bossing us around, 3 months of locking most of the healthy people in the state over a disease that has a 98% survivability rate. And then a couple weeks of letting Antifa and burn, loot, murder, which is what BLM really stands for, do whatever they want. It's now going back to shaming people over their lack of quarantine etiquette. Those of you out there who favor the lockdowns and are totally getting off on this whole shaming thing and snitching thing, snitching on your neighbors for not practicing social distancing or wearing the face diapers. You people, for the past 3-4 months now, have called those of us who want our lives back selfish. You've called us terrible people. You've called us, quote unquote, pieces of shit. Well, you know what? I'm gonna say the same thing I said when this first started, and I'll link the old video down below in the comments section. And forgive me, the description section. If you missed it or you want to rewatch it, but I'll say the same thing I said before. Expecting other people to alter their lifestyle, surrender their freedom, and give up the things that have brought meaning and joy to their lives, just to give you a false sense of security, just to make you feel safe, makes you the selfish one. Begging the government to force people to surrender their freedoms, to alter their lifestyle, to give up the things that have brought joy and meaning to their lives, just to make you feel safe, makes you the terrible person. Wishing disease, death, and imprisonment on those of us who simply want our lives, our jobs, our freedom back, makes you the heaping, steaming pile of shit. So, take your new normal, take your greater good, take your face diaper, and shove it up your ass. But before you do, make sure to apply each item liberally with lubricants before insertion. After all, it's for your safety. Okay, this is Charles Bird. Think while it's legal. Reopen America. I'll see you next time.